President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Abuja after a four-day state visit to Madrid, Spain, which was on the invitation of the Spanish President Pedro Sanchez. In a separate meeting during the visit, the first by the Nigerian leader, President Buhari met with the head of state of the Spanish nation, His Majesty King Felipe VI. During his engagements with both leaders, the Nigerian president disclosed issues of mutual interest to both countries, which expectedly resulted in the signing of agreements and memoranda of understanding on a wide range of topics geared towards further enhancing the bilateral relations between the two countries. Femi Adesina, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, had said such areas include extradition and transfer of convicted persons, mutual legal assistance, cultural matters, cooperation towards fighting crime and enhancing security, as well as issues affecting dependent on diplomatic staff. Also on the agenda, according to Adesina, are cooperation on energy, trade and investment, transportation, public health, and sports development. The president was also the special guest at an investment forum jointly organized by the Spanish Chamber of Commerce, the Ministry of Trade, and the Confederation of Employers, CEOE, where he spoke to the gathering of top members of the Spanish business community and their Nigerian counterparts on investment opportunities in Nigeria. President Buhari was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, Attorney General of the Federation, and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami San, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Adeni Adebayo, among others. And now to court matters. Justice Nyangeko of the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed August 29 for judgment in a suit seeking to extradite the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abakari, to the United States of America over allegations of internet fraud. The judge fixed the date on Friday after taking argument for and against the suit by parties involved. Kari, whose arguments were presented by senior lawyer Nurini Jimo, asked the court to refuse the extradition request on the ground that he committed no offense to warrant the federal government ferrying him to the U.S. The suspended police chief informed the court that more than a year before his arrest, he had written the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP, notifying them that he had opened a channel of communication with the suspected internet fraudster, Ramon Abbas. In the two letters tendered in court, Kari explained that the purpose was to give confidence to the suspected fraudster and lure him to come to Nigeria, where an ambush was already laid for a sting operation by his own strike force. Besides, he informed the court that American authorities once commended him with the commitment he was exhibiting in the battle against internet fraud. He further told the court that where fraud charge brought against him by the American government is not known as an offense under the Extradition Act and therefore should not be allowed by the court to be used to extradite him.
At January and March 2020, Abba Kyari had written a report. He had written a report on the progress he made in respect of his underlying investigation. And that what he is doing is to continue chatting and maintaining communication with Hush Puppy in order to give him confidence in him so that he will come. He wrote two letters, one in January 2020, another one in March 2020. And those letters were not denied.
Still on court matters, the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Wuse, has remanded Peter Onwachukwu, husband to the late gospel singer Osinachi, in the Kuje Correctional Facility, pending the hearing and determination of the homicide-related suit instituted against him by the Attorney General of the Federation. Justice Njideka Nwosu Iheme gave the order Friday after he pleaded not guilty to a 23-count charge bordering on domestic violence and homicide, among others. The trial judge ordered that the suspect be remanded at the correctional facility with trial adjourned to June 16. Nwachukwu's wife died on April 8, raising suspicion from her colleagues that accused him of subjecting the deceased to domestic violence, leading to her eventual death. The Nigerian police arrested him and he has been in detention since. The federal government claims that he has contravened Sections 104 and Sections 379 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, Section 221 of the Penal Code, and the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, VAP 2015. Some of the counts, like culpable homicide, recommends death penalty, 1 year jail term, or fine, among others. Still talking INEC matters ahead of the 2023 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has released regulations and guidelines for the conduct of elections in the country. Chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed these while speaking at a special meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Elections Security, ICCES, to review security arrangement for the Ikeda State governorship elections held at INEC headquarters in Abuja Friday. He said it was pertinent for the Commission to review the regulations and guidelines to govern the conduct of elections in the country with the coming into force of the Electoral Act 2022. He also noted that the Commission has established additional centers and deployed more machines to ease the continuous voter registration of citizens across the country. The representative of the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, who also spoke at the meeting, tasked heads of security and law enforcement agencies to be prepared to forestall any act that can subvert the electoral process in Ekiti State and the future elections in the country.
He said political activities are now going on to round off primary elections towards the 2023 elections. It is obviously expected that party campaigns will commence in earnest immediately after the party primary elections.
Now, the All Progressive Congress APC Presidential Screening Committee has disqualified 10 of its aspirants out of the 23 presidential aspirants jostling for the position. Chairman of the committee, John Oyegun, announced this on Friday after submitting the committee's reports to the NWC of the party. Oyegun did not disclose the identity of the disqualified candidate. Still talking party politics, an aspirant in the All Progressive Congress APC who contested for the 2023 governorship election, Alhaji Sani Shaban, has said the lawsuit and petition he wrote against Senator Uba Sani has not yet been withdrawn. The aspirant instituted a lawsuit and petitioned Senator Uba Sani to the national headquarters of the APC, complaining that the primary election that produced Uba Sani as the candidate for the 2023 governorship was fraudulent, as the list of delegates used was fake. Addressing newsmen, the politician, who believed he would have won at the authentic delegate list was used, noted that the response of the APC national leadership was awaited while he insisted that the petition and the lawsuit have not been withdrawn. The APC gubernatorial aspirant insisted he would not accept the result of the primary elections in Kaduna State.
It is done. It is like we are burying APC when APC is still alive. So please, let us not celebrate what was not there. There was no election whatsoever. Nothing but a shame and shambles in Kaduna State. I feel sad to say that such childish, unpleasant events are happening from the state I come from. I feel ashamed to say that this is done by the leadership of my state.
The Northern Progressive Agenda has declared its support for the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to emerge as the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC. The group made this declaration while addressing journalists in Abuja Friday. The group urged the party to narrow its search to the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with whose many contributions and sacrifice are exemplified. The group called on the leadership of the party and the national delegates to ensure that power shifts to the southern part of the country. They said it is only when presidency is zoned to the south that fairness, justice and equity will be seen to have been done, given that the incumbent president, who would have spent 8 years on the saddle, is of the northern extraction.
Northern Progressive Agenda, therefore, calls on President Muhammadu Buhari to reciprocate the gesture of the South, of which he is a greater beneficiary, by refusing to listen to the call for the North to retain power. We also call on the leadership of the All Progressive Congress, political elite from the North, especially the governors and delegates alike, to show good faith by ensuring that power shifts to the southern region.
Now, public affairs analyst Sani Maduka has revealed that the resuscitation of Nigeria's economy is hanging on the upcoming 2023 elections. Commenting on the failing poverty alienation scheme, he says that nothing will work until the government devises a new plan. Inspired by the success of India's 10-year poverty alienation program, President Muhammadu Buhari commenced a similar project in Nigeria. However, a report from World Bank indicates that the scheme might be failing as a result of factors such as the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war and the COVID-19 pandemic, amongst others. Maduka says that Nigeria's economy cannot be revived except it goes through a complete systemic revolution. He laments that Nigerian leaders are unpatriotic and as a result have no zeal to drive the economy towards greatness.
So we've not really planned for our tomorrow. So all we plan is for today, and that's the problem. Other countries are planning ahead, short-term, medium, and of course long-term program. As of today, I think China has 50 years development plan, both economy and infrastructure, and so other countries. But today is like we believe in this yearly annual report or annual budget. It doesn't give room for any country to develop.
He implored Nigerians to focus on competence and performance as against nepotism and tribalism while voting in the upcoming elections. He says that this government is being unserious against its fight against corruption, giving it the field to flourish.
When you talk about the economic boost, the youths are there because of the technology right now. But they are not given the enablement. They can't access loans. There's nothing to support their innovativeness. So, and then what do you expect? These are the backbone, your youth, but they are nowhere. People look at the same people recycling themselves, and they don't have any other idea than what the idea they have in 1960s. And 1960s ideas, they don't work right now, because we're in 21st century, and 21st century is all about technology. And when you don't give the youth that enablement, the tendency is that your economy will go down.
Four communities in Obafemi Owode local government of Ogun State have appealed to the state governor Dapo Abiodun not to continue the demolition exercise of their ancestral homes. The rural dwellers, who claimed that their villages had been in existence for over 300 years, said if the government wiped it out, they will have no other option than to sleep on the street. The four communities are Ogunro, Lanki, Itori, and Igburi village. During the peaceful protest at the Ogunre, the locals stated that their action is not an attack on the governor, but to appeal for the government to stop demolition. They said the former governor, Gbenga Daniel, had issued a letter of decision to the villagers appealing to him to honor his predecessor.
I come into place papers here. I said, the place we have been, our forefathers have been staying for since all the day. Do they want to perish this village? Now, as I'm here, I don't have another house outside this place. If they demolish this place, where do they want me to go with my age now? Do they want me to go and build another house? And where could I get the money?
We have no other place to go. So we don't want him to come and demolish our house. If the government have excised some land for us that we have been enjoying the excision, we believe that government Abiodun will not come and cancel the excision.
Community were almost 300 years here. Please, we plead to our governor and the Ogun State government to pardon us.
In a swift reaction, the Commissioner for Urban and Rural and Regional Planning, Tunji Odunlami, claimed that the communities have been acquired by government in the last 20 years to construct an estate, saying the communities does not have planning permit as required.
They went into a government scheme, to go and build there. Second, they do not have planning permits as required. If any of them has one, let them check. The government has told them that they've excised. The question is, where those demolitions happen? Was it inside those excised portions? But if you build within what you call committed acquisition, that actually the government has proposed for whatever, other housing scheme, residential estate, school, university, hospital site, there's no way government will accommodate you.
When you are talking about status of land, it's time bound. Anyone that wants to build in the state and in any other state in Nigeria must actually ask for the status of the land as at the time you want to commence it.
Welcome to the international scene. At least 3 people were killed and about 60 injured when a train derailed in Germany's southeastern state of Bavaria, police say. The train, which was carrying many students, was heading to Munich when 3 carriages came off the tracks near Garmisch-Partenkirchen. It is unclear what caused the accident, a police spokesperson said. In a separate development, a carriage on an Italian high-speed train traveling from Turin to Rome derailed while approaching the capital. Local emergency officials say nobody was injured in the incident, which saw the train's parked carriage come off the tracks as it neared Serenissima Tunnel in Rome. 16 of the injured were in a serious condition, a spokesperson for Garmisch-Partenkirchen local authority told reporters. 6 helicopters, including 3 scrambled from the Austrian region of Tyrol, have been on the scene to assist as rescue efforts continue. People are being pulled through the windows, police say. Police say it cannot be ruled out that a number of students celebrating the beginning of the summer holidays are amongst those injured. The accident happened at around 1:15 local time, shortly after the train left Garmisch-Partenkirchen for Munich. Part of the route between Munich and Garmisch-Partenkirchen have been blocked off and traffic has been diverted, German rail operator Deutsche Bahn says. A U.S. soldier based at a nearby airbase was driving past when the train derailed. Germany's deadliest rail